Breaking news now, a very dangerous high-speed pursuit in North Hill.
Gary Lineberry has been flying above it in Sky 9. Gary, what can you tell us? It looks like he's in Panorama City now.
He is in Panorama City, just turned southbound off of Nordhoff on Van Nuys Boulevard here. This started up in the North Valley Division. They chased this guy up the 14 freeway. He went up to Golden Valley and then turned around, came back down the 14 freeway, got back down here into the San Fernando Valley, got off on the 405 freeway, worked his way around a lot of streets in the North Hills area. And now he's just flying through here. We think this is a Jaguar. We're not quite sure, and we don't know what the guy's wanted for right now. But he's on southbound Van Nuys Boulevard now, coming down to Roscoe as he comes down here into, actually he's kind of, now he's southbound Van Nuys approaching Roscoe, they tell us. This guy is flying through here. He's been in and out of traffic, weaving in and out. We haven't seen him hit anybody, but he has gone through red lights. Now he's turning back to the east, to the west, and we believe this westbound Roscoe from Van Nuys. Westbound Roscoe from Van Nuys here in Panorama City as he works his way back over toward the 405 freeway. Now, again, we don't know what he's wanted for. He has been just driving very, very fast. Now, as he turns south again, Carson? Possibly on Chase now. He's just weaving through. Now he's blocked in traffic here. Up to the right, another right turn, westbound again on Roscoe again. Now he's westbound Roscoe, they tell us, and he is just absolutely failing to yield here. They've tried to get him to stop several times, but he is not complying with the officers. We have seen him go through several red lights like that one right there, and he's been very lucky. Now, the guy is driving quite fast. They did authorize the pit maneuver. However, they cannot do a pit at speeds like this one, and certainly
Gary,
with
can
the
you hear
traffic
us?
that they have around here. So
all right.
They are really concerned.
I don't know if I'm on the air or not, and I don't know if Gary can hear us. Gary, you know I am not a rude person, but I'm trying to get to Larry Wilk, who's also flying above this in Sky 9. Larry, can you hear me?
I can, Pat.
Okay.
Gary and I both on this chase right now. Gary, giving you a little bit of a different perspective. We both launched because of a flight restriction that we thought we'd have to contend with, and we didn't want any interruption in the coverage here. So you get the power of two, but you can see this Jaguar has been on the run for some time, and you can see now he's in the far left side. He's got a red light, wrong side of the road, and he goes right through that intersection there, and he makes a left turn now southbound. We are just west of the 405 freeway, east of the 405 freeway. He is now southbound, looks like along Sepulveda. Now, the LAPD's got two helicopters overhead. It went all the way up to the 14 freeway, and then it continued down here into the San Fernando Valley. Right now, the LAPD trying to keep up with this guy, but this guy really moving out on surface streets. This Jaguar, four-door Jaguar sedan, now southbound through the streets of Van Nuys, about 90 miles an hour right now, straight down Van Nuys, or I should say Sepulveda Boulevard, trying to elude authorities, but he just won't be able to. We've seen him run through several red lights, as Gary was saying, just before the switchover. And again, he is continuing now southbound. We are right behind the pursuit. You can see that they've got one primary unit there at the bottom of your picture, and then several other black and whites here. We've got a red light. He's coming up to this red light. He slows down. Then you can see that Jeep getting out of the way. He runs through the red light. There's cross traffic in the intersection, and he continues right through that red light. And this has become a very dangerous pursuit here now. We are crossing Staticoy southbound on Sepulveda through Van Nuys, and again, a very, very difficult situation for the LAPD. Another red light coming up. He just passed through a green light, and it's approaching Sherman Way now, and it looks like he's getting ready to maybe do the pit maneuver here, but it looks like it's going to be very dangerous. If he tries it right here, and you can see the car spinning out. The LAPD continues on, and let's see if it brings to an end. Right here, it doesn't. This guy keeps going, and now he's got an officer in front of him and behind him, and lots of traffic there. Look at all of the traffic in that intersection now as the LAPD might have this thing ended, but those cars better get out of the way. They are in a crossfire situation here, and you can see right now we've got two pictures. The right side is Gary Lineberry. The left side is my picture, and you can see LAPD now with their guns drawn. They did the pit maneuver. It was a risky move there. There was a lot of traffic, but they were able to spin this guy out and stop it right here at Sepulveda and Sherman Way. Suspect now door open, and he's got his hands in the air, guns drawn here. Gil will remind you that if there are any shots fired, we want to pull to a wide shot right away. This guy now complying with officers, now back up, but a very dangerous situation as this guy running red lights up and down the 5 freeway, off through Van Nuys, and now it looks like it's come to an end with the LAPD using that pursuit intervention technique.
Well, you know what? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sylvia.
No, I was just going to mention that this is, we see a lot of chases like this, Larry, and this is the kind where as soon as it started and the crew here could see the maneuvers that he was pulling, they said this is not going to end well. And so we're so grateful, as always, to see that it has without anyone being hurt.
This is exactly the reason that you can see right here. This is how it came to an end right after that pit maneuver. But this is why they want to bring these things to a stop. Now we'll come back to a live shot, and we can see those team of officers now moving up on the suspect, now taking him into custody, and then another officer moving into the vehicle to make sure that there's nobody inside. But again, the way this guy was driving, LAPD said we've got to get this thing to stop, and we've got to do the pit maneuver to do it so that it was no longer a danger to those folks on the roadway. But again, it has come to an end here. You can imagine what it's doing to the traffic here in this 8 o'clock hour. It's a very busy intersection here. Sepulveda near Sherman Way, just north of Sherman Way. Suspects in custody. The LAPD got this thing stopped before it could hurt anybody.
You know what, Larry? I just wanted to comment on just how aggressive the LAPD was in this particular pursuit.
Yeah.
We have seen times where they will pull back and let the air patrol carry this over the air just in order to try to bring this to some kind of stop here, but in a safe fashion. But I think they figured it could be much worse if they didn't use aggressive tactics and just stop this guy when he could. Look at him. There's a near miss there. He's going through red lights. So heck of a job on the part of the LAPD, that's for sure. They took a gamble, and it really paid off here.
Outstanding work. And again, you're right, Pat. Sometimes if the guy's moving along and he's not creating a danger, the best strategy is to hang back and let it go. These guys said, no way. This guy is a clear danger to those people on the road. They got aggressive, and now they've got their man. Yeah,
it was because of driving that we just saw right there, where he was blowing through red lights and just squeezing between cars in those crowded intersections. Main rush hour's over, but still a lot of people on the road, and they took very quick, aggressive action. When did it start? Do we even know exactly what time it started?
It did. It started a little bit before 8 o'clock tonight, about a half hour ago. It was Mission Division units that were in the northern portion of the San Fernando Valley. They were following this suspect. It got on the 5 freeway, then to the 14 northbound. CHP started to get involved in this chase, and then they came back down. They got off the 14, came back from Golden Valley down the 14 to the 5 freeway. Then it got onto the 405, exited, and then the LAPD took it over again. But very aggressive, very dangerous driving, running red lights, wrong side of the road on many occasions, and that's what prompted the LAPD to make the call. They had a trained officer who had done this before, and they didn't want to see this guy go through a red light, hit pedestrians, or hit another vehicle. They said, we've got to bring this to an end, and that's exactly what they did.
Okay, Larry, and we're going to be following this story so we can tell our viewers perhaps why they were chasing this guy in the first place, if this was a stolen vehicle or not. But again, great work on the part of the LAPD. And I want to apologize to our colleague once again, Gary Lineberry, for talking over him like that. But we were trying to bring in this double shot with Larry Welch. So that is a code 4 on the part of all of us here.